Have you ever had someone completely flip on you? One day you're their favorite person, and the next you're being iced out like you never meant anything to them. That kind of whiplash doesn't come from a healthy person. It comes from someone who sees relationships in extremes. And when that someone is a narcissist, you're either their angel or you're their enemy. There is no in between. And that's exactly what I believe is happening right now between Meghan Markle and Princess Eugenie. Eugenie welcomed Meghan, supported Harry, and even appeared in their Netflix documentary, though I can't remember where, honestly. She was one of the few royals who seemed to stay in their corner. So, why is it now being reported that they've cut her off? The answer has everything to do with how narcissists operate and the dangerous loyalty tests they run on everyone around them. It shows up in our families, in our workplaces, and relationships. And maybe, like me, you saw it start in childhood. Let's talk about this, but before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. This topic originally came to me when I saw this article that was recently published and is titled Princess Eugenie's Relationship with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle Breaks Down Following Bold Move. The article begins Princess Eugenie's relationship with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has broken down. A new report has claimed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are known to have maintained a close relationship with the Princess of York since announcing they would be stepping back from their roles as senior working royals in January 2020. Eugenie appeared briefly in the now Californian-based Royals record-breaking debut Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan during a visit to the US in 2022. That is a lot of adjectives. That was a mouthful to say. So let's talk about this a little bit before we continue. So that very first line already sets the tone for what appears to be yet another example of narcissistic rupture. Narcissists often maintain connections only as long as the other person remains fully aligned with their image and agenda. When a perceived betrayal occurs, the punishment is swift and emotionally disproportionate. The article continues, however, the long-standing friendship has soured after she was photographed with Piers Morgan, a strong critic of Harry and Meghan, last April, according to claims made by The Sun. A friend told The Sun a dim view was taken of this as Piers has clashed with Meghan and Harry in the past. Eugenie has been supportive of Harry and Meghan for years and was right there at the beginning of their relationship, but it has now soured. So it's interesting that this happened a year ago. I didn't realize that. I thought the picture may have been taken recently. What's happening here, this entire situation is a textbook loyalty test. The photo itself isn't harmful, but for someone like Meghan, who reportedly holds grudges with an intensity that aligns with narcissistic splitting, it's seen as unforgivable. Neutrality becomes betrayal. Eugenie has been there for them for years. A healthy relationship would weigh years of support more heavily than one photo, but in a narcissistic dynamic, loyalty isn't cumulative, it's conditional. The article continues Harry and Eugenie often spent time together as children, as their mothers, Princess Diana and Sarah Ferguson, had a friendship, often going away on joint family holidays. The Princess of York was also the first member of the royal family to be introduced to Meghan Markle by Prince Harry shortly after they started dating. And I don't know if you all remember, but these are those images. We've seen these images of Halloween time right before Harry and Meghan's relationship went public. And the fact that Eugenie may have been one of the earliest people to have met Meghan from Harry's family, this reported cutoff is even more disturbing because Eugenie wasn't just another royal, she was an early intimate ally. But again, with narcissistic personalities, past closeness means nothing if present actions don't serve the current narrative. The article continues the cousins and their partners dressed up in Halloween costumes for a final night out before their relationship was revealed on the Ellen DeGeneres show. I had no idea it was revealed on the Ellen DeGeneres show. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I'm going to look into this. If anyone knows, please feel free to drop it in the comments. The article continues. Meghan and Harry have also reportedly purchased a home at Portugal's exclusive Costa Terra Golf and Ocean Club, just minutes away from a property Eugenie's family owns. The Duchess of Sussex is not among the 34 accounts that the princess follows on the social media platform. I honestly never bought this story that Harry and Meghan bought this home in Portugal. I felt it was more of a merging opportunity, but let's assume that this is true. This detail adds a layer of complexity because if they were to live in close proximity to someone that they've cut off, it suggests an attempt to monitor or maintain proximity-based control. And when the loyalty test is failed, proximity becomes tension. Narcissists don't see people realistically. They live in a world of extremes. You're either adored or discarded. You're either praised or you're punished. To them, a person is only as good as their last performance. This psychological defense mechanism is called splitting, and it's common in narcissistic personalities. It's how they protect their fragile egos from the discomfort of seeing someone as a full, complex human being. So when you're on their good side, you're the smartest, most loyal, most perfect person they've ever met. But the moment you disagree with them or you set a boundary or associate with someone they've labeled as bad, you're instantly untrustworthy, dangerous, and disloyal. They rewrite the story in their mind, and suddenly you're a villain. The kindness you showed, the loyalty you offered, it's all erased. What matters is how you made them feel in that specific moment and how useful you are to their narrative now. One of the most exhausting things about being close to a narcissist is that their relationships are never stable. They have constant makeup and breakup cycles, not just in romantic relationships, but with family, friends, coworkers, and even their own children. They fall in love with someone, whether platonically or romantically, and that person becomes their latest obsession. It's intense, it's over the top, and it's not real. It's projection. Then something small happens, a disagreement, a perceived slight. A person doesn't text back fast enough. Suddenly, the narcissist flips. That person is now selfish, toxic, manipulative. You no longer mean anything to them. But it doesn't end there. You give it a few weeks, maybe a few months, and the narcissist will reappear in that person's life, acting like nothing happened. They rewrite the history, pretend the smear campaign never existed, and try to rope themselves back in. And if you're close to the narcissist during this cycle, you're expected to mirror it exactly. Hate who they hate, love who they love, jump when they jump. If you don't, you're next. I've lived this, and that's why this topic really hit home with me. It happens in adult relationships, but it started with me as a child. When you grow up around narcissists, you learn the rules very quickly. The number one rule: mirror their emotions. I remember being about 10 years old and smiling at someone my narcissistic parent was angry at. I wasn't taking sides, I was just being polite, but that was enough. I was punished, frozen out, told I was disloyal. I had no idea what I did wrong until later when I realized it had nothing to do with me and everything to do with their need for control. When you're a child, you're completely reliant on your parent for love, for safety, for survival. So when they make up and break up with people, you have to do it as well. Even if you love that person, even if you felt safe with them, it leaves a lasting impact. You start to believe that connection is conditional, that people can disappear without warning. That affection depends on compliance, and that your feelings aren't real unless someone else approves of them. That kind of emotional manipulation trains you to betray yourself. You learn to end relationships you cared about, not because they hurt you, but because someone told you to. And worse, you're forced to forgive people who hurt you because the narcissist says it's time to move on. You don't get to hold your boundaries. Your reality isn't yours. Let's bring this back to Meghan and Eugenie. Eugenie was one of the only royals who seemed to stay close to Harry and Meghan after the royal exit. She visited them in California. She appeared in the Netflix series. She was in their corner even when the rest of the family wasn't. But recently, these reports that the relationship has soured all because of a single photo. And all of this history is no longer meaningful because of a single photo with someone Meghan doesn't like. That's not reasoned adult behavior. That's narcissistic splitting. To Megan, Eugenie was no longer safe. She wasn't useful. She failed the test. And instead of having a conversation, Meghan and Harry reportedly cut her off because when loyalty is a demand, not a choice, any deviation is a betrayal. This isn't just about Meghan. This is a textbook case of how narcissists operate. They don't build relationships, they build loyalty traps. And the second you step out of line, you're erased from the story. And they don't just want loyalty, they want emotional uniformity. If they like someone, you're expected to dislike them too. If you remain neutral, you're seen as disloyal. Your emotional independence is threatening to them. And what makes it worse, Megan didn't just cut off someone at random. Eugenie was someone who backed her publicly. She endorsed their narrative by appearing in their docuseries. She aligned with their version of events. So to be erased over a photo, that's not about behavior, it's about optics. Narcissists often expect you to shape your public image around theirs. There's also no sign of grace, no check in, no conversations. Megan's not seeking understanding, she's delivering punishment. And the interesting thing is that as they do this, they create these self fulfilling prophecies. The paranoia that people will abandon them turns into real abandonment because they alienate everyone through control. And we also have to put the name of triangulation here because Eugenie wasn't discarded because of her actions, but because of who she was standing near. That's how narcissists operate. It's about association, optics, and obedience. And finally, imagine what this feels like for Eugenie. After all the public support she gave, she's now allegedly frozen out over a single picture. That isn't just painful, it's destabilizing. When narcissists cut you off, they don't just erase you, they erase the story you thought you were part of. Another aspect of this is that this pushes Harry into further isolation. Eugenie was potentially his only link to his family, and now, even if Harry wasn't upset with Eugenie, Meghan would have played the same game with Harry and potentially, allegedly, told him, "You need to be loyal to me and stop talking to Eugenie because Eugenie took a picture with my enemy." So I'm curious to know, have you ever had a narcissist suddenly cut you off for something that didn't seem like a big deal or force you to make up with someone who hurt you just because they said it was time? If you feel comfortable sharing, please drop that in the comments. I want to thank you all so much for listening. If this video was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time I drop a new video. Please check out my other videos, including the one where I do a deep dive into the only time I believe I've ever seen Megan genuinely smile. I'll include that clip in the description. And again, thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.